The narrator compares himself with shipwrecked sailor, a sailor whose ship is in the water and he is on the raft in the middle of the ocean, and he is making us imagine about his condition. So he was awakened by an odd voice. If you please, draw me a sheep. What? Draw me a sheep. So somebody asked him for drawing a sheep. I jumped to my feet completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully all around me, and I saw a most extraordinary small person who stood there examining me with great seriousness. So when he woke up, he was surprised to see a little man, and he was examining the narrator very carefully. Here you may see the best portrait that later I was able to make of him. So the narrator has drawn a picture of him, you can see here, but my drawing is certainly very much less charming than its model. So here his drawing is okay, not very much good, because he gave up drawing at the age of 6. That, however, is not my fault. The grown-ups discouraged me in my painter's career when I was 6 years old, and I never learned to draw anything. So this narrator is blaming the parents for not drawing good picture. Except Boa from the outside and Boas from inside. So he just learned 2 pictures in his life, Boa from outside and Boa from inside. Next page. Now I stared at this sudden apparition with my eyes fairly starting out of my head in astonishment. So he was just looking him with opening his big eyes and continuously staring him, looking him with astonishment. Remember, I had crashed in the desert 1,000 miles from any inhabited region. So he was far from any human habitation area, and yet my little man seemed neither to be straying uncertainly among the sands, nor to be fainting from fatigue or hunger or thirst or fear. So he is surprised to see that this place is out of human habitation and nobody is here, but this little man is looking very fresh. He is not feeling hunger or thirst. So it is very amazement thing for him. Nothing about him gave any suggestion of a child lost in the middle of the desert 1,000 miles from any human habitation. So he was not looking like a child who lost his way. When at last I was able to speak, I said to him, "But what are you doing here?" And in answer he repeated very slowly, as if he were speaking of a matter of great consequence. So he was giving only one answer, "If you please, draw me a sheep." This little man is answering one only answer, one sentence, "If you please, draw me a sheep." When a mystery is too overpowering, one dare not disobey. Absurd as it might seem to me, 1,000 miles from any human habitation and in danger of death, I took out my pocket, a sheet of paper and my fountain pen. So here the narrator tells us that he was not having any other option, and he thought that when the mystery is too overpowering, we should not dare to disobey. But then I remembered how my studies had been concentrated on geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. And I told the little chap, a little crossly too, that I did not know how to draw. So he took out his sheet of paper and pen, and he remembered that he does not know about this subject, and he asked him about not to drawing. So he answered, that doesn't matter, draw me a sheep. But I had never drawn a sheep. So I drew for him one of the two pictures I had drawn so often. So many times he drew this picture of boa constrictor. So he drew that only, and I was astounded to hear the little fellow greet it with. So this little fellow gave him reply about this picture number 1. No, I do not want an elephant inside a boa constrictor. So he was surprised, he was shocked. By listening this answer, first time somebody understood his drawing. His drawing number 1, boa inside. Elephant inside a boa. A boa constrictor is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Elephant is very huge and boa is very dangerous. Where I live, everything is very small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep. So he is asking for a little animal sheep. So then I made a drawing. So he made this first drawing. The narrator drew the first drawing. Next page. He looked at it carefully, then he said, "No, this sheep is already very sickly. Make me another." So this sheep was looking unhealthy, so he asked for a drawing about another sheep. So I made another drawing. He made second drawing. You can see here. My friend smiled gently and indulgently, so he smiled kindly and gently. "You see yourself," he said, that this is not a sheep, this is a ram. It has horns." So he is telling he wants the picture of sheep, not the ram. This is the ram because it has horn. So then I did my drawing over once more. So again he drew the picture. You can see third sheep drawing here, but it was rejected too, just like the others. "This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time." So he wanted small sheep, little sheep, and young sheep. By this time my patience was exhausted. Now the narrator is tired because I was in hurry to start taking my engine apart. So he wanted to repair his engine. He was in hurry. So I tossed off this drawing. So he made this drawing, and I threw out an explanation with it, and he was having an explanation with it. This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside. That whatever the sheep you want is inside this box. That is exactly the way. One line is missing. I was very surprised to see a light break over the face of my young judge. So this young man is very happy to see the drawing. That is exactly the way I wanted it. So he is happy that this drawing only I wanted. He wanted this. Do you think that this sheep will have to have a great deal of grass? That he is asking that, do you think that this sheep will be having enough grass? Why? The narrator asks, "Because where I live everything is very small." So he again repeated his place is not general, not common. He is extraordinary. Everything is small where he lived. There will surely be enough grass for him, I said. The narrator said that okay, for him there will be enough grass. It is a very small sheep that I have given you. So the narrator is making him understand about his words, and at last he bent his head over the drawing. So he looked it carefully, the drawing, and he said, "Not so small that. Look, he has gone to sleep." And that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince. So how the little prince is giving good comment about the drawing, that there is a sheep which is not so small. He has gone to sleep right now. And like this incident, the narrator came to know about the little prince. He was be familiar about this little prince, and like that we can end up the story. So I hope all the students understood the story. If you will be having any doubt, just send me comment. Please like, comment and share my video. If you have not subscribed my channel, subscribe it. Bye bye.